That's Meredith, Meyers. She will give us a broad overview of her life in a speech titled K, BC, and AK. Keep an eye out for her gestures, which may include some ASL, since she finished going through the ASL Bloom app last week. Please welcome Toastmaster Meredith Meyers.
K, BC, and AK. Kid, before kids, before children, BC. Got to change it up from the Ks. And after kids. I have grouped my speech into 3 sections and will discuss 3 different places in each section. And yes, there will be a quiz. It is not a defunct practice to avoid quizzing at Toastmasters, correct? Toastmaster Tim, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My sections for the kids, cities, here we go. New York City, Winter Park, Florida, and Coral Gables, Florida. My parents met at the 1964 World's Fair in Flushing Meadows, Queens, New York. My dad was the director of security, and my mom was one of his secretaries. I have a younger brother and 2 older half-sisters. Buddy was born in 1918, and Jenny was born in 1931. I was born a great aunt, and I had 4 nieces and 4 nephews when I was born. I grew up in Winter Park, Florida, on Knowles Avenue, with Park Avenue as my backyard. I remember riding my tricycle through Watkins Paint and Cottrell's 5 and Dime, and I also remember picnics in Central Park when the only stage was the stage that's there by the fountain with Emily. I hit all the preschools in the area, thank you, Mom. First Baptist, All Saints, First United Methodist, and I ended up at First Congregational for 2 years. For school, I went to open air school in first through 3rd grade. I went to Orlando Junior Academy for 4th through 8th grade. I went to Winter Park Junior High School for just 9th grade, and then I finished out at Winter Park High from 10th through 12th grade. I was in the band, and I don't know if any of you went to Winter Park in the 80s, but Barbara Grant was always riding my butt in chemistry. And I was so wonderful, such a fabulous student, she even put me in the corner one day. Claim to fame, Coral Gables. I was there from 1988 to 1993. I studied marine biology at the U, but I switched to speech communications. I was in marching band, Delta Gamma, student council, Ladies of Scum for Sports Fest, Panhellenic, and I was an RA for 4 years. I moved home and worked at Rollins College for a year in the Dean of Students office and in residence halls. And then I spent a year at UCF studying higher education, and I was the resident coordinator at the BPW Scholarship House. Now on to Before Children, also known as the Ds. DMV, Dusseldorf, and Denver. On the eve of my 25th birthday, I packed up my Honda Civic and I drove north. I felt like my destiny was in the Washington, D.C. area, and I wanted to get going, much to my mom's dismay. I found a job at Bell South Mobilecom and spent lots of time with my baby cousins, Daniel and Emily, who were 3 and 1 at the time. I connected with friends and family in New Jersey, New York, Boston, and New Hampshire. Nova was my next stop, and I worked at Lytton PRC, now Northrop Grumman, for 2 years, living in Herndon and Ashburn. On January 31st, 1998, I boarded a plane to Dusseldorf, Germany, to work for American Management Systems. My many adventures took me to Italy, Turkey, Scotland, Poland, the Netherlands, Belgium, France, Switzerland, Spain, Mallorca, and Greece. When the project ended, I moved to Denver, Colorado with my beau, Marc Saint-Hilaire, and many of our colleagues. I had never been to Colorado, and we drove there from Quebec with our daughter, Jamie Marie. They both remember me repeatedly asking, as we entered Colorado from Nebraska on I-76, where are the mountains? Shouldn't I be able to see these mountains that you talk about? We got married on November 17th, 2001. The next several years were tough, as getting pregnant was not an issue. But staying that way didn't happen. Finally, my 7th pregnancy stuck, and Frederick Alexandre Saint-Hilaire was born on the day Katrina hit, August 29th, 2005. Now we're in the last phase of my life that I will be telling you about, after kids. That's when the fun starts, right? Fasten your seatbelts. Littleton, Colorado, Bristol, Virginia, and Lafayette, Louisiana. We spent time driving from Jordan Alexander Preschool Academy to the CGI office in Golden, Colorado, and back home. We attended St. Gregory's Parish, where Fred entertained the congregation by jumping off the stairs to make noise in his dress shoes. We stayed in Littleton, Colorado until Theodore was born on November 24th, 2008. He was baptized in December. I had my last OB appointment in January. The movers packed up our home and we drove east and left the only home we knew as a family. Bristol, Virginia is a small town of about 30,000 with the twin city of Bristol, Tennessee, Tenagenia, Virginia, remember the Geico guy? That's where I lived. Finding daycare was not easy. It was definitely a challenge, but we made it work. CGI's office was in Lebanon, Virginia, in the coal fields, which is about 30 miles north and east of Bristol. But it was a fantastic place to rear 2 little boys. Farms and many outdoor activities were everywhere. We lived near South Holston Lake and joined the Carefree Boat Club, so fishing and swimming were our pastimes. Never in a million years did I think I would move to Louisiana, but CGI offered me a job there to build an application development center for them for one of their largest revenue generating clients in the United States. We stayed there for 6 years, and once Fred was 18, we moved to Florida so Theo could start school at Winter Park High. After moving several times and starting again and again in different places, I wanted to move home. My mom and my brother were hospitalized in June and July of 2020 with COVID, and I knew I needed to be here. As a native Floridian from the area, I have the agency to build belonging for people who come here from other places, and I want to be an ambassador for the compassionate community spirit that makes Winter Park a great place. How many kids do I have? What hurricane did I mention? Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster.